Good morning, students.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay, so today I'll explain once again, okay, Modi with non-degeneracy. All right, because by yesterday's summation, what I felt like you need a little bit of explanations, more explanations on on this optimality test method called Modi. Okay, and since we have a lot of time, your session is going to extend till the month of March. Okay, that's why we have a lot of time. So let us invest some more time in understanding this optimality test. All right. So today I'll explain once again. And those who are still sleeping, please wake up and listen to me properly. Okay. Listen to me properly so that after today's explanations, you understand this method perfectly. You will not be requiring any more explanations on this. Like that, you listen to me. Okay. Wake up now. All right, so this solving of the transportation problem, I will not discuss because that more or less all of you have understood. Solving by VAM, you have understood. So that I will not explain. I will start from the derivation of the initial basic feasible solution. Okay, that means if this is a problem having four destinations and three origins, then supply side and demand side given to you, then you follow the general technique. First step would be to see whether the summation of the AIs and VJs are same or not. That means the summation of the demand row and the supply column are same or not. If it is same, then only there exists a feasible solution. That's how you will proceed. Then after proceeding like this, you will make allocations table, different allocations table. Even yesterday, many of you have done the table like this. Don't make the table like this format. You will make the allocations separately. Again and again, I am telling you, okay. P1, P2, after P1 calculation, whatever cell or whatever row or whatever column will be deleted, you will delete that row or column and then make a new allocation table. Then you will make or calculate P2. Like that you will approach, you will follow. You will not make a format like this. You will make the allocations table separately. All right. So after following all the rules, you will see that this is the initial basic feasible solution. Okay, having how many allocations? Tell me, one of you, how many allocations are there in this initial basic feasible solution? How many? Huh?
Six.
6. It is 6. What is the meaning of allocation? Those who are having still doubt, what is the meaning of allocation? Listen to me. Allocations is the, in simple words, by seeing the table, if you want to understand, allocation means the circled numbers in the individual cells. Okay, the circled numbers in the individual cells are called the allocated cells. And the cells in which there are no circled numbers, those cells are called non-allocated cells. All right. In the cells where you are assigning certain number of units with circled numbers, those cells are called allocated cells. And the cells where you are not assigning any numbers, not assigning any quantity of the product, those cells are called non-allocated cells. Okay. So in applying Modi, why we apply Modi? To find or to verify that the solution that you have got is the optimal one or not. Optimal one means, is it the best possible solution that you have found out, or there are ways to make it better? That you have to test. Okay, so in Modi method, this is called modified distribution method, Modi method. Here, in this method, you get a help to find out or to evaluate whether the solution that you have found is the best possible solution or not. All right. So here, after allocating, you saw that the initial transportation cost or the total transportation cost arriving after the initial allocation is giving you rupees 68. Okay. Is it, it is 68. Let us say it is 68. You can see on your screen, the initial transportation cost is coming at rupees 68. Okay. After that, once you found out the total cost, what you have to see in performing modified distribution method for checking optimality, what you have to find is you will have to calculate the number m plus n minus 1. You will have to calculate the number m plus n minus 1. What is m? M is the number of rows. You may write somewhere. Those who were having doubt, those who did not understand what is this M and N, you can write it in a place. M stands for the rows and N stands for the columns. Okay. M plus N minus 1. M, if it is the number of rows, then what will be the value of M? It will be, what will be the value of M? Tell me. If it is the number of rows, M is the number of rows, then what is the value of M?
Ma'am, 3.
3. And what is the value of N if it is the number of column? Mamta,
Ma'am,
tell
4.
me. Mamta, tell me what will be the number of columns?
4.
4. So 3 is the row and 4 is the number of columns. So 3 plus 4 gives you 7. Minus 1 you will have to do. So 3 plus 4 minus 1 gives you 6. Right? That gives you 6. And now you will have to calculate the number of allocated or occupied cells. It is also called occupied cells. Okay. The cells which are allocated, in which numbers are allocated, those cells are also called occupied cells. So once you find out the value of m plus n minus 1, next you will have to match this value with the number of occupied cells or number of allocations. Okay. So here, as you already told me, that the number of allocations is 6. Now, this m plus n minus 1 is also 6. So both are matching, isn't it? 6 allocations and m plus n minus 1 also 6. So if this happens, if these two numbers matches, that means the number of allocations or the number of occupied cells and the value of m plus n minus 1. If these two matches, then it is said that there exists a non-degenerate basic feasible solution. It is said that there exists a non-degenerate basic feasible solution. Had this value been less or more, then scenario would have been different. Okay, that we will do after we finish up this method properly. We will do that case where this number will not match also. Okay, so let us concentrate for now that the numbers have matched. So there exists a non-degenerate basic feasible solution. Now, in order to find out the optimal solution, you will give a heading after this, applying Modi to find out the optimal solution. You will give a heading, applying Modi to find out the optimal solution. You will give a heading like this, and then you will have to determine a set of numbers, UI and VJs for each row and column, such that UI plus Vj equals to Cij for each occupied cells. Now we will operate in this occupied cells. Okay, we will deal with this occupied cells and we will assign and we will try to determine a set of numbers named as UIs and Vjs so that we can proceed further and do the optimality test. These UIs and Vjs are completely our set of numbers. Those will not be given in anywhere in your question. Those are some numbers which this Modi method allows you to assume on your own. Assumptions will be made once only, and rest of the numbers you will be able to calculate based on the assumption. Okay, we do this performance, we do this operation, we determine this set of numbers called UIs and VJs for each row and column. Whatever be the row, whatever be the column, we will do that, but only for the occupied cell we will do. Okay, it's not that for all the cells you will have to do. No, you cannot do that. You have to only find out UIs and VJs for the occupied cells alone. Okay, so now what is the technique for performing this method? You have to assume. This assumptions is made once only. All of you listen to me properly. Okay, this assumption is made once only. What is that assumption? The assumption is the row or the column which is having the most or the highest number of allocations. We give that number of row or the number of column an assigned number called 0. Okay. Now UI, when I was telling UI, this U was standing for rows. And this VJs I was telling, VJ stands for the column. Okay, so UI and VJ stands for row and column respectively for each of the rows and columns. Now we will name this I and J. We will change the name of this I and J depending on the allocated cells. Okay, now see now first you will have to identify that which is that row or which is that column that is having the maximum number of allocations. Now tell me, those who did not understand this method, please tell me that what is the number of what is the row number or column number that is having the highest number of allocations. It can be both sides, okay? It can be in a row, it can be in a column. Tell me, which is that row or which is that column that is having the highest number of allocations? Yes? Yes? I didn't get, pardon? Say again, Mamta, I didn't get you. Smart. It is O3. O3, okay. It is O3. Yes, this is the row, third row that is having the maximum number of allocations. Now we don't write it as O3, okay? We just change this O into U. And we will also change those D's into V. We will write U and V in place of O and D. Okay. So, since you said you are correct, O3 is having the maximum number of allocations. That means this is U3. We give a number U3 and we put this number as 0. So you will have to write these lines, okay? When you will give the heading that application of Modi or applying Modi method to find the optimal solution, you will have to write this line for the understanding of the examiner. We will evaluate your paper. You will write this line like, we will determine a set of numbers UI and VJ for each row and column such that UI plus VJ equals to Cij for each occupied cell. No need to write now, you can do it later and also you have the reference. Now just listen to me properly. Then you will write, since the third row has maximum number of allocations, we give a number U3 equals to 0. Okay, now once we give this U3 as 0, no, then rest of the calculations can be easily done. Then you will write the remaining numbers can be obtained as given here. Then you will write the remaining numbers can be obtained as given below. will you do is, we will have to calculate this UIs and VJs only for the allocated cells, right? So we will start with this third row only. We will start with this third row so that we can put U3 as 0 and calculate the other V1, V2, V3, whatever will be there. Okay, so we will start with the first column, that is O3 D1, right? We will start with O3 D1. Yes, so we will start with O3D1. That means this is our first allocated cell. What is the cost in this cell? What is the cost in this cell? Who will tell me? What is the cost in the cell O3D1? What is the cost?
7.
7. 7 is the cost, right? That means Cij or C31 is 7. So we will start with this cost and we name it as C31. All right. So what we did? First we identified that row which is having the highest allocation and we allocated a number 0 to that row. We identified that O3 is having the highest number of allocation. So we will not write O3, but we will make a number U3. We will give a number. This O3 is the name of the row, right? But we will make numbers. That's why we will not write O3, we will write U3. We will write U3 and give it a number 0. This is our first assumption and the last assumption also. Rest of the things will be calculated. So once we give this O3 or this U3 as a 0, then we will start from that rows cells. This particular rows is having 3 allocated cells, right? This third row is having 3 allocated cells. So we will start from these cells only. That is how our calculation will become easy. Okay, so let us start with O3D1 cell. And we have already written that we will, this is also another assumption, okay? The assigning 0 was the assumption and this is another assumption that we are making our calculated numbers sum as equal to the cost. This is another assumption. 2 assumptions basically actually we make. So one is you're assigning the highest row as 0 and the second assumption is we will make UI and Vj as equals to the this sum of UI and Vj will be equals to the cost in that particular cell. Okay, so we start with this cell. That's why we will write C31. You write C31 equals to U3 plus V1. U3 means this is the number in the third row and V1. V will be the notations for the first column because this cell is in the first column, right? So we write V1. U3 we will write, but we will write V1 because it is in the first column. Okay, so we will write C31. C31 means the 7. C31 means the cost, that is 7. C31 equals to U3 plus V1. That we will write. Now then we will solve for V1 because we know U3. U3 is 0, right? So we will put 0 in place of U3 and calculate V1. It will be 7. Similarly, for this, we will finish up this row first. After that, we will move on to other cells. So the second calculation will be of this cost 6 having allocation number 3. 6, 3. 6 is the cost. Allocation number is 3. What is this cost? How will you name this cost? Who knows the answer? Tell me. How will you name this cost? You can see my arrow hopefully. See how will you name this cost 6? I mean, how will you write C21, C23, C12, C13? How will you write this cost 6?
Ma'am, C32.
C32. Okay, 3 is the row and 2 is the column. So we'll write C32 equals to 6. And the C32 will be equals to U3 plus V2. Right? U for the row, V for the column. Second column, that's we are writing V2. U3, V2 equals to 6. That's what we are writing. See, U3 plus V2 equals to 6. Thus, we can place 0 in place of U3 and we can solve for V2 and give it a number 6. Then, then we will we will calculate for the third allocated cell. Okay, we will calculate for the third allocated cell. So it is 6 again, right? How will we name it? Now tell me. This 6, the cell having this cost 6 and the allocation 1. Who knows the answer? Tell me. Vibechana, tell me, how will you name this cell? I mean, how will you write this C in terms of row number and column number? Vibechana? Vibechana, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Tell me, how will you name this cell? This O3D3 cell, na? O3D3 cell is there. So how will you name this cell? Cost. That is 6. It's given, no? How will you write this 6? In terms of C.
I don't know.
Are you listening what I am teaching?
Yes, ma'am.
Then why you don't know? Namrata, tell me. How will you name this
Yes,
cost?
ma'am.
Yes, tell me.
Ma'am,
Hmm.
C33.
Yes, very simple. This is in the third row and third column. So it will be C33. Very simple. Vibeshna, please be attentive, okay? And if you are unable to follow, please go to the class recordings that I am uploading in YouTube and sharing the link in Moodle. From the Moodle, you go to you will be redirected to YouTube, okay? So you see that video again and again. You can pause and play. You can turn it back and play. So that way you try to understand. All right. All right. Now, before I move on, tell me one thing that are you having the next class? Are you having the next
No,
class?
ma'am.
No, no. Okay, so let us do one thing. Let me explain this method in this class. I'll take more 10 minutes or so for explaining this. Then you will do this sum in your copy. Those who have already done, for them, the rest of the class time will be a break. And for those who did not do, you do this sum in your copy. After I explain it properly, you understand it properly, you do this sum in your copy. Okay. And that way I will take 2 classes. Then I will not teach you financial management today because that is almost, syllabus is almost going to be over. Only after that we will practice. Okay. So what I'm planning is, let me explain for more 10 minutes. I will take this explanation. So after that, I will ask if anyone is having any doubt in any step. So again, 5 minutes I'll invest. So rest of the 20 minutes, you will do this sum in your copy. And then I will not take that 9:20 class. Will that be fine with you all? Please tell me, give your consent. If it is okay, then I'll proceed. Otherwise, I'll end this class here and rejoin at 9:20 again. Tell me, what is better for you?
Yes, ma'am, it's okay.
Yes, ma'am.
It's okay to continue?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, great.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. So that you all also become free after 9:20. And also I have to go to college as well for paper checking. Actually, lots of examination duty has come for us. That's why I think teachers are not being able to take classes properly. this time, no, I'm sharing with you all that there are so many problems in paper checking, that few of the students are submitting in hard copy to the college, few of the students have uploaded. So we have to download those things, print it out in proper form, and printed copies are horrible to be checked. You cannot read those sentences. Then how to check? So a lot of problems. Even one copy checking is taking half an hour or so. So that's why we are in too much pressure. That's why maybe few of the teachers are not able to. And Rupam sir is in the exam control department. No, he's the head of the department. So maybe due to that reason, he is not taking classes today. Anyway, so you all follow me properly. Okay, let this class recording go for 1 hour. I will upload this class recording in YouTube today again, and you will refer to it. Let us clear this Modi today itself. Okay. So all of you listen to me. Now that we have calculated the numbers, now our main motive is what? In doing all this calculation in this part, a motive is to calculate certain numbers, ui's and vj's. This I can be 1, 2, 3 because there are 3 rows, and that j can be 1, 2, 3, 4 because there are 4 columns. That way we will mix and match and then write the numbers by seeing the cost or the allocated cell number. Okay, we will first have to check the allocated cell number, then accordingly we will mix and match the ui and vj. It's very easy. Okay, if you practice, no, this becomes very easy. You don't have to apply your brain also. Seeing that C31 you can write. See, for example, in the first one, C31, 3, 1, 3 for u, 1 for v. You write u3 plus v1. Okay, then second one is C3, 2. So 3 for u and 2 for v. So u3 plus v2. Then C3, 3 for both. That is u3 plus v3. That is how you can write easily. This is like a formula. Okay, don't be scared of this step. This is very easy to understand. Only thing is that you have to write that cell numbers or the cost in that cell on your own. You have to identify that cell number that you are writing as C, and the C is obviously the cost in that cell. That you have to write on your own, and rest of the formula writing is very easy. Okay, so what we were at C33, right, which was 6. That means this third column and third row number, which is 6. So 333. So C33 is how much? It is 6. C33 means U3 plus V3. So U3 plus V3 is 6. That means U3 is again 0. That's why we took this row cells first, because we can write U3 as 0 and find out the other number, and we can use that other number for finding the rest of the numbers. That's why we start with always the cells in that maximum allocated row or maximum allocated column. It can be in the column side also. We have done 2 sums, and these 2 sums, this maximum allocation is happening in the row side, but it can happen in the column side also. In the due courses of time, we will see those type of sum as well. Okay. All right. Now we were at C33, and we have in this 3 step, we have calculated already V1, V2, V3, right? Now we will use this V1, V2, V3, and obviously U3 in order to find out the rest of the allocated cells numbers. Then if we start with this first one, that is O1, D1, what will be the name of that cell in respect of C? Tell me, anyone. What will be the, if we start with the O1, D1 cell, then what will be the, how will you name this cell in terms of cost? That means C, then what will you write in the subscript? Pratiksha, tell me.
Ma'am, C11.
C11, very good. It is C11. So that's it. If you identify C11, and that will be equals to 2. Remember 2, not 3. Okay, don't make mistake. That number which were there in the question, that number will come. Do not confuse with that allocated 3. It will be 2. It will be 2, 2, 1, 10, 8, 5, 4. Only the numbers in the boxes within the cells. Okay. So C11 will be 2. If C11 is 2, C11. That means U1 and V1. Right. Now, do we know V1 or do we know U1? U1 we don't know. U3 we know. But U1 we don't know. But then the other number we will have to know, which is V1. Only then we can solve for U1. Now, do we know V1? Yes, we know V1 because in the first calculation itself we have calculated V1 as 7. So V1 we know, then we will put V1 as 7 in this formula, that is U1 plus V1 equals to 2. We will write U1 plus 7 equals to 2. That is how we will get U1 equals to minus 5. Understood? Then similarly, next allocated cell is this one, that is O2 D3. Next allocated cell is O2 D3. How will you name this in terms of C? Tell me. Pooja, tell me. Pooja, tell me. How will you name this cell in terms of C? That is in terms of cost. How will you name this cell? Pooja.
Ma'am, C3.
C
2, 3.
2, 3. Yes, very good, Pooja. So it will be C2, 3 because it is in the second row but third column. So it will be C2, 3. That will be equals to 5. So C2, 3 equals to 5. Now we will have to see whether we know the numbers. So C2, 3, that means U2 and V3. C2, 3, 2, 3 is the subscript number. That means 2 for U and 3 for V. So U2 plus V3. That will be equals to 5. Now U2 obviously we don't know. But V3 we know. We have calculated. V3 is 6. Right. So we will write C2, 3 equals to U2 plus V3 equals to 5. That is equals to U2 plus 6 equals to 5. That implies U2 equals to minus 1. Understood? Now only one allocated cell is left. That is O2 D4. Now, how will you write this in terms of C? Tell me. Who will tell me? Saurav. Saurav, tell me. How will you write this cell O2 D4 in terms of C? Saurav?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, how will you write this cell number in terms of cost? That is C.
C24.
C24. Very good, Saurav. Very good. Mute yourself. Okay. Thank you, Saurav, for your answer. It will be C24 because it is in the second row but 4 columns. So it will be C24. Now, when we are writing C24, that means U will be 2 and V will be 4. 2, 4, that means U2 plus V4. Now, do we know V4 or do we know U2? We know U2, I think. Yes, U2 we have calculated just in the previous step. So we know U2, but V4 we don't know. That is how you will proceed. Okay, if you see that you don't know one number, then you will move on to the next cell. There you should be knowing one or the other number. If you are seeing that in any selected cell in which you want to perform this calculation, you are seeing that you don't know both of the numbers, then you should leave that like that and move on to the next allocated cell. Then definitely you will find that value and then you go back to this left out cell and then assign. Like that you will proceed. Okay, so this C24 gives you V4 as 5. So now we have what? We have U1, U2, U3, we have already assumed 3. U1, U2, U3 we have. And V1, V2, V3, V4 we have. All of the numbers we have calculated. Okay. After we calculate this formed numbers by us, named as UIs and VJs, and following the formula ui plus vj is equals to cij. After we do that step, then the last simple step will occur. Okay, what is the simple step? Now we will put these numbers that we have found and utilize these numbers and write those numbers in the non-allocated cell or occupied cell, unallocated cell or the non-occupied cell. Okay, understood? That we will write. Now what we will do here is, in this step we will have to find out the sum. Now we will have to find out the sum of ui and vj for each empty cell. Empty cell means unoccupied cell or non-allocated cell. Okay. Now we will find out the sum of ui and vj for each empty cell and enter it at the bottom left corner of the cell. What we will do? Now here also two things we will have to do. First thing is, we will find out the sum of ui and vj for each of the cell where no number has been allocated, and we will enter it at the bottom left corner of the cell. Okay, so if you talk about this cell number O1 and D2, this is the first unallocated cell. So we will start with this one, O1 and D2. This is the first unallocated cell. So we will start with this cell. Now, if it is O1, D2, then what will be the value of U1? It will O1, D2. That means U1, V2. Am I correct? O1, D2. That means the numbers, if we want to write it in terms of our numbers, it will be U1, V2. Correct. So U1 plus V2 will be how much? U1 is minus 5 and V2 is 6. Right. U1 is minus 5 and V2 is 6. So minus 5 plus 6 we will do. Understood? It will be better if you make an additional row and column like this and you write these numbers. It will be easy for you to calculate. So you will write U1, U2, U3, V1, V2, V3, V4. From this previous step, you will write the numbers in this extra additional column and the additional row. Okay. So this we are doing in the initial table only. Okay. We are not doing anything. We are not touching this VAMS calculation. Those first allocation, second allocation, we are not touching those. We are doing it with the question given to us. It may also happen that in the exam, only you are asked to perform MODI. Then what will you do? You will directly start with these steps. This step starting from this first previous one, that is assuming U3 or the highest allocated row or column as 0, then finding out the other numbers. You will directly start from this step. Okay. Or it may come in the exam that you are first asked to solve that transportation problem with the help of VAM or whatever method given. Then you will have to, you may be asked to perform MODI. Understood? So where was I? I was here when I asked you to write these UIs and VJs. Okay. So U1, U2, U3 you will write, V1, V2, V3 you write. Okay. After that, we will perform this calculation in the unallocated cell. The first unallocated cell is O1, D2. So in O1, D2, what will be the summation of this U1 and D2? U1 is minus 5. V2 is 6. So minus 5 plus 6 will give you 1. Now what to write at the right hand corner of this cell? We will just deduct this 1 from 2. That is the cost present in that cell minus the number that we have given here. 2 minus 1, that is 1. Similarly, for the cell O1 and D3, we will do U1 plus V3. So U1 is minus 5 and V3 is 6. Again it will be 1. If it is 1, then the right hand corner will be 2 minus 1. That is 1 again. For this third one, that is O1, D4, this is the third unallocated cell. Here Also, we will do u1 plus v4. So u1 is minus 5 and v4 is 5. So minus 5 plus 5 gives you 0. Then what to write on the right hand side? We will write 1 minus 0 as 1. Like that, we will arrive at the numbers in both left hand side and right hand side corner of each of the cell. Okay. After that, once we find out this, then what will we do is, then we will have to see whether, listen to me carefully, then we will have to see whether the right hand side, whether the right corner, right bottom corner of the cells that we have written are having all positive number or not. Whether the numbers that we have written at the right hand side corner of each of the unallocated cell is positive or not. Whether all the numbers are positive or not. If it is so, then we can say that the solution was optimum. Then we can say that the solution was optimum. Okay. All right. So this is it. So you will have to see whether the right hand side corner of the each of the unallocated cell for which you have done all these calculations in this step, those are all positive or not. If they are positive, then our task is over. Then we say that the solution arrived at in the initial step was actually the optimal solution. Okay. Had it been a single negative number, then they would not have been an optimal one. Okay. So finally, we will say that this transportation cost 68 is the optimal transportation cost. So now I'm giving you 5 minutes time. I'll be back at 8 again. You see all the steps. Okay, you have the file. The screen is shared. You see this shared screen. Also the file that is shared either in Moodle or in the informal WhatsApp group of ours. You can refer to that file and see where are you having the doubts. Then I'll be back at 8 after 6 minutes from now. Then you will ask me if you have any doubt. All right. After that, we'll proceed. And at what time your class ends, by the way, this class? At what time your class ends, the second period?
Ma'am, 8:20.
8:20. Okay,
8:50.
fine. 8:15 or 8:20? Okay, we will continue till 8:15. So after I come back at 8, you will ask me if you have any doubt. Otherwise, you will solve the sum. You will write the sum in your copy now. Okay. So I'm taking a break. You go through this once. You also sit quietly and go through these sums. Read this entire sum. You can download the file from your WhatsApp group or Moodle and go through each of the steps. If you have any doubt, do tell me. Okay. Yes, so tell me if you have any doubt. Tell me, anyone is having any doubt in any step, please tell me. I hope you have gone through. I hope you have gone through during this 5 minutes break. You can go through now also. But tell me if you have any doubt in any step. Yes, tell me. No one is having any doubt. That means it is clear. Ashish, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure, no doubt.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Rohit Bansal, is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
No doubt, no?
Ma'am, I just
Rohit
wanted to
Pandey,
ask one thing.
yes, tell me.
Ma'am, if it is like we have to just prove from Modi method, then we will
Yes,
just do this one now, which is showing in the screen. We'll just start
yes,
from this one
yes,
now,
yes,
and
yes.
rest
You
we
will
don't
start
have to do.
directly. from there. Yes, exactly,
Okay,
exactly.
ma'am.
Rohit Pandey, Rohit Pandey most probably is sleeping. Rohit Pandey, Rohit Pandey, are you there? He is never there. Shalini,
Yes, ma'am.
you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
No doubt, no? Anyone else? Muskan,
Yes,
Supriya is
ma'am.
there. Muskan, clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. So even if it is not clear, you can always refer to the class recordings. Okay, you can refer to the class recordings and clear all your doubts. Okay, then I'm here. I'm here till I'm here. I am here till say 8:15. If you have still have any doubt, please ask me. Anyone is having any doubt, any question in any point, any stage, please ask me. This is a simple method, okay? If you are attentive, no, and you are listening to everything that I am telling, then it will be very easy to understand that how this is done. So if you have really understood, then you start doing the sum. Those who did not do yesterday or those who had copied and sent me, I hope they have understood by now. So it will be better if you go through that, whether there is any mistake or anything you want to change like that. And those who had sent me all the P1, P2, P3 in a single table, you please change that format, okay? You practice in the format first allocation, second allocation, third allocation, whatever, okay? Other teachers may say may something else to you, but I would not say, okay? I would always say that you please write first allocation, second allocation, third allocation separately. Why I'm saying is it is for your benefit, then you will never make mistake. If you do all the things in a single table, no, there is high chances of making mistakes. That's why I'm pressurizing on you to show all the allocations separately. Then it is another benefit also is there that the examiner can clearly check your problem. Then when the examiner is able to clearly check a problem, there are chances that you will get full mark. There are high chances that you will get 12 on 12 like that. Okay, that's why always try to show all the allocations separately. So those who had done in a single table, please change that today. Today is Friday, no? Yeah, today is Friday. Tomorrow's class I will plan and tell you what we will do. Whether we will be having online class or offline activity, I will tell you. Okay, let me take the attendance for both the classes. Then you will leave. And you should finish this sum. Okay, those who did not send me images yesterday, they should send me images today. All right, please respond. Abhijit? Abhijit? Abhishna? Anurag?
Present, ma'am.
Anurag, you understood?
Yes, ma'am. Everything.
You do the sum in your copy today, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Aryan?
Yes, ma'am.
Ashish?
Yes, ma'am.
Ashmita?
Yes, ma'am.
Ashmita, you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
You do the sum in your copy, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Bibechna also go through this class recording. I think you have not understood properly. So you go through the class recordings
Okay,
and
ma'am.
understand. Finish it off today itself. No carry forward. Devrupa, Harshita,
Present, ma'am.
Harshita understood?
Yes, ma'am. Little.
Little, okay. How is everything going on?
Ma'am, it's
At
fine.
home? Okay,
It's fine, ma'am.
okay. Ishika Chaudhary,
Present, ma'am.
Kajal,
Present, ma'am.
Kasak, Kasak understood? Khushi, Prison, Mahima,
Present, ma'am.
Mahima, you understood?
Yes, ma'am. I'm understanding.
Okay, you will refer to the class recordings also. Today's class
Yes,
I will
ma'am.
upload. I'll upload right now. Okay, I'll upload it today. Right now I cannot upload because the class recordings arrives after 15 minutes. So after 9:20 only I can upload. So you refer to those class recordings and understand it. Finish it off today itself. Okay,
Okay,
Mahima,
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Mamta,
Yes, ma'am.
Mohit, Muskan Prasad,
Yes, ma'am.
Muskan Gupta,
Yes, ma'am.
Namrata,
Yes, ma'am.
Nidhi,
Present, ma'am.
Nitesh, Parnadeep, Pawan, Prashil, Pratiksha Chetri, Pratiksha Giri,
Present, ma'am.
Priyanka,
Present, ma'am.
Pooja,
Present, ma'am.
Rahul, Rajat, Ramkrishna, Rohit Bansal, Rohit Pandey, Sagar, Salina, Shalini,
Present, ma'am.
Shruti, Siddhant, Gaurav,
Present, ma'am.
Sobhit, Supriya, Suraj, Swayam, Tanya, Vinit. Okay, done. I'll copy this attendance for the other class also. So you can leave the class and finish this sum today itself, okay? And all your understand Modi by today itself. You can leave the class.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.